Hi, welcome to this webinar for Djuli. So Djuli is our sort of premier data management system, and we do this webinar once a week, really just to kind of answer any questions that have come in during the week. So today is the 5th of September 2023. This webinar is scheduled to go out at 8 a.m. London time, but we're actually going to do it a little bit early today because we have another webinar which is for something called Sense It All, and I will describe that in a minute. So the intention of this, let's say this webinar once a week is just really to answer questions. So let me just silence that for a second. Is really to answer questions about Djuli that are coming during the week. So something that comes in a lot about Djuli is actually about our freemium versus premium option, and I will discuss that in a little bit. But really just to say, Djuli is a data management system that at ZP we use it, day in, day out. We upload our data, we can visualize our data, we can analyze our data, we can share our data, and it also has an API function so we can get the data to other places. As I say, there is a webinar actually today about Sense It All, and Sense It All is one of the conduits of data into Djuli, and I essentially I will cover that. I want to say that we did do a webinar on Djuli yesterday. I'm just going to drag myself slightly out of frame here. If you scan this, hopefully it will take you to a landing page where you will find yesterday's 45-minute webinar on Djuli. And actually, that's more than just a webinar. That's a demonstration as well. So every month we do a 45-minute webinar and demonstration where at least 5 of us from ZP come in and we demonstrate different aspects of Djuli. The next Djuli webinar is on the 24th of October. I'll put a link here, so I hope that people will essentially sign up for that. And then I also want to say that it's a little bit short notice, let's say, but there's a Sense It All webinar. There's one in the next couple of hours, and then there's one in about 10 hours time. When we do these webinars, which are live demos, we do tend to do 2, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, so that we can essentially help cover the globe. If you see a link, by the way, I'll put the link underneath the video as well. Something we get asked a lot about is this kind of freemium versus premium. So we try to make it easy to get onto the Djuli system. So there is a freemium version, there is a premium version. The biggest difference there is there's a price with a premium. With the freemium, you get a fixed number of reports. We basically have what's called clusters, projects, and reports. So that's our architecture. So you get a fixed number of reports. With premium, it's unlimited. When I say tools, if you come to one of our demos, as I say, the next one's on the 24th of October, you'll see that there are things like calculating a calibration curve, feature or signal extraction from features, baseline offset. We do have lots of these tools. If you get the premium version, we also have templates. Templates allow you to take your intellect, decide the way you want to see your data and the layout of it, fix it then so that the next, let's say, user in the team presents, if they gather their data, the data gets presented in a similar way. I suppose this is particularly useful in manufacturing where actually you don't want lots of variability in the way data is necessarily presented to you. AC just means that we have continuous amperometric data, and that's obviously available to premium and freemium. PC would be continuous potentiometric data. It should be said that Djuli is, and I suppose that's the next line here, is Djuli can be generic in terms of we can have columns of data, signal versus time, current versus potential, impedance versus frequency. We can have columns of data and Djuli can deal with those. It is particularly, and we are electrochemists at ZP, particularly sort of tuned up for electrochemical data. So that means we are very good at handling potentiometric data, amperometric data, voltammetric data, impedance data, and we're also good at handling, I want to say IV curves from FET devices. If you get the premium version, then you can download your data. Both systems allow you to download your results. In the freemium, you unfortunately can't delete reports. You can only have 2 projects, or I think it may be 3 projects in the freemium version, where it's unlimited in the premium. You can edit in premium, but you unfortunately can't do so in freemium. Creating clusters, as I say, it's clusters, projects, and reports. This is kind of like a hierarchy, so you get a cluster, but you can't create new ones. You can essentially see that, obviously, with data and data storage, we are paying for that, and so we can't have sort of lots of freemium users using infinite amounts of data. And then there's also comparative reports. Comparative reports are pretty useful if you're doing batch manufacturing or experiments on the different days. You can compare results from manufacturing from different batch runs or different experiments on different ways. So you can do this kind of comparison going on as well. I just want to say thank you, but we will do this Q&A next Tuesday at 8 a.m. London time. Don't forget, I have said it, there's a webinar in the next couple of hours, and there's a repeat of that webinar for people in different time zones in about 10 hours time. There is a webinar on Djuli on the 24th of October, and yesterday there was a webinar, so the QR code appeared today. If you scan that, you'll find the recording of the webinar from yesterday. Okay, so any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us as EP. Thank you very much.